All right. All right. We are learning today changing standard form to vertex form using completing the square. So first we need to do a little bit review of standard form versus vertex form so that you know exactly what the difference is. First of all, standard form. All right. So standard form. Let's real quick just jot it down what it is. SF, standard form. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. That's standard form. Vertex form. Y equals a, parentheses, x minus h squared plus k, where the vertex is, here we're called negative h, so it's the opposite sign of whatever's in h and k. That's your ordered pair that's going to be your vertex. All right, so let's first practice completing the square. Let's review completing the square. So we've got this problem, x squared plus 8x minus 1 equals 0. All right, completing the square means that we are going to factor this quadratic because maybe X method or box method or just finding the two parentheses won't work. Right now when we look at it, it looks unfactorable. But we're not going to write unfactorable because we have a way. We could do quadratic formula or we could complete the square. So we're going to complete the square and practice that. The first step in completing the square is to do what?
Label it.
Anyone recall? Okay. The first step is to get the 1 over to the right-hand side. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, now it does.
Okay. Add 1 to the left, like just bring it over to the right. So now here's my equation. X squared plus 8x, big space, remember that? And then 0 plus 1 is 1. Okay, perfect. What's next?
Oh, I forgot.
Divide 8.
Divide 8 by what?
By 1.
No.
8 by
Like X.
It's in parentheses. Something.
Oh, B over
B, oh, good. B over 2. B divided by 2. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, let's do this in our head. What is 8 divided by 2? 4. Can you guys just write 4? And remember, it needs to be squared, right? B over 2 squared. And we add that to both sides. We all good so far? So let me write that over here. B divided by 2 squared equals, I'm sorry.
So that's how you always get that number, Miss Grant? C?
8 over 2
Is that how you
squared.
always get C?
Yeah, and C, the 4 is the number that we are going to put at the end of our quadratic for a perfect square trinomial. All right, now, let's simplify a little bit. What does this become when I factor it down and I simplify it? Num.
X plus 4 all squared.
X plus 4 squared. Equal sign. 1 plus 16? Right, 17. And then it says do not solve. The word solves mean x equals what and x equals what. We're just going to stop here. All right, let's go on to our next example.
Yay.
I have, for this one, instead of equals 0, I have y equals. This is standard form. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. A is 1, b is 8, c is negative 1. We're going to do the exact same process, but instead of there being a 0, I'm going to leave the y there. So here's how it works. I'm still going to add 1 to both sides first. So you're going to put y plus 1 equals x squared plus 8x. So that's my first step. Now we're doing our b divided by 2 squared. So what is b divided by 2? What number is that?
8.
Okay, b is 8, so what's b divided by 2? 4. So that means that on the, leave space, right? On the left side, I'm going to do 4 squared. On the right side, I'm going to do 4 squared. Yeah? Okay. Here's our math problem. Y plus 1 plus 16. What was it? Plus 1 plus 16?
Y plus 17.
Y plus 17 equals, okay? Let's write it out as a standard form first. And next step is to simplify and make our perfect square trinomial into what? What's going to go in parentheses?
X plus 4 squared.
So x plus 4. Okay, so now we have this y. What's happening on the left here is it's like our storage area. We're just keeping everything over there until we're really ready to write vertex form. What you see on the screen, is that really close to vertex form on the right-hand side? Because I have an, like, x minus h squared. That's all kind of set up for us. So our last step is to subtract 17. And remember, whatever's in parentheses is not going to go with the 17. It's not like we're doing 4 take away 17. We're leaving the x plus 4 in there by itself, squared, and we're just attaching the 17. And it's a negative 17. All right, so let's start with our first example. And we are going to go from standard form to vertex form. Okay, our first step is going to be to move the 10 over with the y. It's a plus 10. How do I move it?
Subtract 10 both sides.
Leave space. X squared minus 6x. Okay, next step for completing the square. B divided by 2 squared. So that looks like this. Negative 6 divided by 2 squared. Added to both sides. Negative 6 divided by 2 squared. Well, what is negative 6 divided by 2? Negative 3. Negative 3 is the number that's going in the parentheses at the end.
Okay.
So, y, take away 10. Okay, negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. What's negative 3 squared?
Positive 9. Positive 9.
Minus 6x plus 9. On the left is our storage area. It's just where we keep everything until we're ready to bring it over for vertex form. What is my parentheses? What is my factored form of x squared minus 6x plus 9? It's a perfect square trinomial. So what? Minus 3. Hey, where'd you get the minus 3 from?
From behind the x.
From my b divided by 2. This guy's right here. That is where I get my negative 3 from. Okay. On the left, what's negative 10 plus 9?
Negative 1. Y minus 1.
Good. And now we're so close to vertex form, our only step is to get the negative 1 over and attach it to the end. That's our k. Our k is negative 1, but we add 1 bs. That's both sides. I am done with this problem. It is in vertex form, h and k. Remember how it's like negative h comma k?
Yes.
Well, tell me, what is my h and what is my k?
Negative 3.
Ah. 3. Why is it positive 3? Opposite sign of what's in parentheses. What's my k? 1. Good. All right. Number 2, same process. Why don't you start a couple steps on your own? I will write, but you're on your desk trying it without my help. Remember to leave space. Okay, what is b divided by 2 squared? Negative 8 over 2. Okay, add that to both sides. Negative 8 over 2 squared. Negative 8 over 2 squared. Do you think that's something that you could do mental math instead of me having to write negative 8 divided by 2?
Yes.
Could you just say, oh, negative 4?
Yes.
I would appreciate, and so would your future math teachers, if you're able to do these things in your head. Negative 8 divided by 2, right? You said negative 4. So it's going to be negative 4 squared equals x squared minus 8x plus negative 4 squared. Let's do the math. Yes?
Can you leave it out of the parentheses? You just have a minus.
I'd rather leave the negative 4 in parentheses because that means negative 4 times negative 4 when you square it.
Can we square it?
Do it. Square it. Y take away 12 plus 16 equals x squared minus 8x plus 16. And let's work on the left. Remember, that's our storage area. Just keep everything over there for now. What is negative 12 plus 16? 4. Okay, let's do it now, please. Change your perfect square trinomial into a parentheses that's something squared. What is it? Hey, heads up. What? What? It's going to be the same number. X minus 4 squared. We're so close to vertex form. What's my last step for vertex form?
Minus 4 on the left. And bring it to the right.
Okay. X minus 4 quantity squared. Take away 4. HK. Right? What's my, remember it's going to be negative HK when it's in the parentheses. 4 comma negative 4. That is my vertex. All right, third problem we're going to try. First job is to complete the square, and let's get that 1 over to the left side. It's our storage area, right? Ooh, I didn't leave space. I have to rewrite it with space. Don't forget to always have space for your b over 2 squared. What is b over 2? 2. So I'm going to add 2 squared to the left side and to the right side. Is it okay if I do not write 4 divided by 2 in parentheses? Can I just write a 2?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Left side. Negative 1 plus 4. All right. And what is negative 1 plus 4, please?
3.
Positive 3. What is the perfect square trinomial when I factor it down? What do I get squared? X plus 2. And I'm going to do the same thing, guys. Right here. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, and I'm making it not even there anymore. Same number. Okay? X plus 2. Last step, what?
Minus 3 from the left side. Bring it to the right.
Minus 3. Okay. Ladies, give me my HK.
Negative 2, negative 3.
Negative 2, negative 3. Woo woo. Good job, guys. Perfect. All right, number 4. What's different about number 4 is that I've got a negative in front of my x squared. We have not seen that before. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start off as normal. I'm going to get rid of that plus 3. By how?
Subtracting it and moving it to the left side.
Leave space. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write what's left. I have never had a negative number lead the way in my A, ax squared plus bx plus c. So I'm going to need to factor out that negative sign because I don't want there to be any numbers ever there or a negative sign. Right now I've got a negative 1 there. So please let's factor out a negative 1. And what would be left in parentheses if I factored out a negative 1?
X minus 2.
X squared. Try again.
What?
If I factor out a negative 1, I get a positive x squared. If I factor out a negative 1 from negative 2x, what do I get? Positive 2x. Now, remember how I've been talking about the left side being the storage area? Again, we don't want this in parentheses. We don't want the negative 1 there. So what you're going to do is you're going to move that negative 1 over to the left-hand side and put it in the storage area until we need it at the end for vertex form. What that means is that this negative 1 right here, I'm going to divide by both sides to get rid of it. You can also multiply both sides by negative 1. But here's my point. This is what I'm now going to have. The negative 1 is going to move over, and I'm going to keep it separate from the y minus 3. Please write down what I just wrote down in red. So I brought over the negative 1 because when I'm doing completing the square, I do not want anything in parentheses. And the way to get rid of the negative 1 was to multiply and or divide it by both sides. So this right here means our left side is a complete storage area, and our right side is ready for completing the square. So focus on the right side for now. What is b over 2? 2 over 2. It's a plus 2. So here we go. Let's write what we have on the left. That's our storage area. Leave space. X squared plus 2x plus, what did you say? 2 over 2 is b over 2. 2 over 2, that's 1 squared. Add 1 squared to the left side. Okay. All right. Left side. 1 squared is 1. That's my storage area. I'm just keeping things over there so that I can focus on completing the square on the right. Please tell me, what is my factored form of this perfect square trinomial? X squared plus 2x plus 1. Over here on the left, on the right, what is my parenthesis going to become? X plus 1 squared. Now I'm perfect. It's all green is a horrible color, isn't it? Okay. So what I now need to do is I now need to bring stuff over from my storage area back to the right-hand side. So I'm going to move that 1 that's out there all alone over to the right. That's going to be my k, remember? So minus 1, minus 1. Do that to both sides. Here's what I have on my left. Okay, my only other problem now is that I've got this negative 1 that I need to move over. So what that means is I'm basically going to be dividing by negative 1. To move the negative 1 back over. So I divided by negative 1 on my k, I divided by negative 1 on my parentheses, and I divided by negative 1 to cancel it here on the left. I don't need parentheses anymore. Look, guys, now I have an A. My last step is going to be to add 3 to both sides. Let me kind of move up, back up to the top. And here's what I've got. Y equals my a is -1, x plus 1 squared. What is 1 plus 3 over here at the end? 4. That's my k. So here's my h, here's my k. Y equals, well, I actually kind of have everything there. So let's just, okay, what's my h, what's my k? -1, 4. Remember, the h is the opposite sign. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, this problem is set up already in the perfect format. It's basically like step 4 of the last problem we just did. So let's kind of, since number 4 was a little difficult, let's practice from here. How would we finish this problem? On the right, everything looks perfect. X minus 3 squared. It's really ready to go for vertex form. But on the left, I've got this 1/3. That needs to go. And I've got this minus 3 in parentheses. So this is my storage area. How am I going to move over things from my storage area? What's the first thing that I should do on the left side? So I can't, you're right, get rid of the 1/3, and I heard you say divide the 1/3. Well, we in math don't divide fractions by fractions. We get rid of 1/3 another way. Say it again, Tyler. Multiply by the reciprocal. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Let's do it in red. So I'm going to times by 3/1, which means I have to times by 3/1 on the outside of the parentheses. I'm not going to like distribute anything. So here's what I have. Y minus 3, now it's out of parentheses, equals 3. X minus 3 squared. I am almost done. What do I do with that -3 that's on the left? Add it to the other side. So I'm going to plus 3, but this is going to be my k. Remember how the k is just at the end, outside of parentheses. Y equals, my a is 3. There's my vertex form. So this problem kind of gave us a little bit of a head start so we could just practice moving everything from the storage area over for vertex form. All right, guys, what's h and what's k? Opposite sign of what's in parentheses, k is itself. 3, 3 is my vertex. All right, first step. I've got a 2 that leads, and I don't want that there. So I'm going to do this. Let's go to black, actually. It's easier to see. Factor out of 2. Go ahead, write what I'm writing. Number 7. Okay, what is, when I factor out of 2, what do I have left? X squared. Say it again, please. Half of 32. 16x plus what's half of 100? Okay. Now, let's get rid of that 2. How do I get rid of the 2 that's multiplied by a parenthesis? Divide it. So I'm going to divide this by 2, and then I'm just going to divide my y by 2. Remember, it's our storage area. If I need to get rid of something, I just put it over to the left. So I divided by 2. So here we go. Y divided by 2 equals x squared plus 16x plus 50. Now I'm going to move the 50. I'm going to subtract 50 and get it over to the left side. So move it over. Here's what we have in our storage area. Y divided by 2, take away 50, leave space, equals x squared plus 16x. Okay. My 16, that's my b. What's b over 2? What's 16 over 2? 8. So that's my number that you know is in parentheses, b over 2. So I'm going to add 8 squared to the right, and I'm going to add 8 squared to the left. I have a lot going on over here on the left because I have to first put together negative 50 and 64. What is negative 50 and 64? 14. Okay, let's focus on the right side. 16x plus 64. What is this perfect square trinomial? X squared plus 16x plus 64. What is it in parentheses? Okay? Now, I'm so close to vertex form. What are the last things that I need to do?
Subtract 14.
Subtract 14. Y divided by 2 equals x plus 8 squared minus 14. Okay. So I got my h and I got my k. Now I'm going to get my a. The a is the thing in front of parentheses. How am I going to get my a? What am I going to do with that 2 on the left? Multiply it. Let's do times 2. Oh, I don't know what I just did. There we go. Times 2 over 1. And my 2 over 1 is going to be right here. That's going to be my a. Okay? Y equals 2, parentheses, x plus 8 squared. Okay, if I multiply my parentheses by 2, I also have to multiply my negative 14 by 2. What's negative 14 times 2?
28.
All right, so, okay, vertex, HK, like, well, you know, negative h comma k. What's h?
Negative 8.
What's k? What kind of 28? Positive or negative?
Negative.
Good job. Woo! Exhausting? You guys got? Let's do some samples together. All right, that is the end of the video. Thanks very much.